Hi, Taylor T. Carlson here again, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the latest movies to get a release in the Shout Factory Shout Select line. Today we're going to be taking a look at Little Big League. This was a movie that came out when I was a kid. Back when I was a kid in the mid-90s, there were a lot of family-oriented movies about baseball that came out, including the likes of The Sandlot, the remake of Angels in the Outfield, Rookie of the Year, and of course, Little Big League. I'm glad to see this one finally making its Blu-ray debut here, thanks to Shout Factory, who gives a lot of chances to unsung cult classics that might never get the love they deserve on an HD format otherwise. I'll do a quick unboxing for this, talk about the film, share my opinions on this release, and I'll let you know whether I give it my recommendation or not. So here's the front cover. Pretty simple, but it works. I believe the same image or a variation of it was used on posters for the film. There's the spine. This is number 120 in the Shout Select line. That cover here's got a quote from Roger Ebert, one of the few people who wrote an overwhelmingly positive review for the film. Description of the film, description of bonus features, cast and crew credits. Then inside our case, here's the actual movie disc. No reversible cover sleeve on this one, but we do get a nice, inner gatefold picture here of the team from the film. Little Big League is about Billy Haywood, a young man who's not necessarily the best Little League baseball player, but he's always the authority on the rules because he pretty much knows the entire history of the game. His grandfather is the owner of the Minnesota Twins, and when his grandfather unfortunately passes away, he leaves the most precious thing in his life to Billy in his will, that being the Minnesota Twins. So this school-aged kid becomes the owner of the team. And he lives with his single mother, who also happens to fall in love with one of the players on the team. Billy ultimately decides to manage the team himself, and needless to say, it's a rocky start because there aren't a whole lot of baseball players who want to be taking orders and direction from a 12-year-old kid. So it's up to him to not only to win over the respect of the team and get them winning again, but also to learn how to juggle managing a baseball team with his social life. Little Big League is certainly an interesting case. It takes an absolutely ludicrous premise and runs with it, but the movie plays it completely straight. I mean, over time, as silly as the concept of this movie sounds with a school-aged kid running a baseball team, it ultimately becomes a little more believable and plausible thanks to the tone that the filmmakers take and that they actually take the sport of baseball seriously. I mean, Roger Ebert famously wrote a review for this movie giving it 3.5 out of 4 stars, a very high rating, and praising the movie for the way that it treats the sport and that it's not just some silly comedy or something that condescends. It's a pretty solid movie for all ages, and unfortunately, it never really did great with critics or audiences, and it sort of faded into obscurity, despite the fact that the end product is actually a very good movie, and one that I was happy to revisit. I remember in the 90s seeing this in a double feature with another movie called Baby's Day Out. Does anybody remember that one? Anyway, I have to say, revisiting Little Big League was certainly a lot of fun. It's well cast. It's well made. The cast includes the likes of Luke Edwards as Billy Haywood. He was the little kid from The Wizard that became the video game expert. I actually did a review for that Shout Factory disc last year on my channel. And then it has the likes of Jason Robards as his grandfather, John Ashton from the Beverly Hills Cop movies as one of the veteran coaches with the team, and even Timothy Busfield from the Revenge of the Nerds movies playing the baseball player that falls in love with Billy's mother. It's a fun movie. At 2 hours, it's maybe about 20 minutes too long, but that's not to say it doesn't entertain. It's one that's definitely worth rediscovering, or if you never saw it back in the 90s, discovering for the first time. I'm happy to say that Shout Factory's disc here actually looks very nice. After having to settle for second-rate DVD copies over the years, people will finally be able to get a release of this film that looks fantastic and actually does justice to the material. We get 4 bonus features on here, including a vintage theatrical trailer and behind-the-scenes featurette. But there's 2 brand new interviews for the release as well, including one with star Luke Edwards and another one with star Timothy Busfield. It's really great to see that they actually managed to get some new bonus material, since this is largely a movie that sadly faded into obscurity years ago, but it is nice to see that they're taking this release seriously, and longtime fans will want to hear the new interviews. Have you ever seen Little Big League? And if so, what do you think of the movie? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos. Give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.